Hello, what's up, and welcome back to another interview at the ABC Conclave and Wow Summit Conference. This is day one. I'm Adel, the host, and today we have Jason Fernandes from AdLunam. Jason,
Hi,
how
how's
you
it
doing?
going? Happy to be here. Fantastic.
Thanks for being on the show. We've known each other a long time now.
For sure.
We are here to educate and learn about all the different projects that are building in the emerging space of blockchain. So, straight over to you and getting straight into it. What's your story and what brings you here today?
Well, I got into crypto around 2013 and
Okay.
basically been in it ever since. Bought crypto at like $13.
Okay,
Uh,
$13.
Yeah, and at the time, nobody really knew very much about crypto. It was like back in 2013, so I wrote a whole bunch of articles. I was a columnist at a magazine, so I ended up writing a bunch of columns about Bitcoin. And finally, I was like, cool, why am I sitting on the fence? Let me just get in. It made sense also if you're going to write about something, to sort of buy it and play around with it. And so that's pretty much how I ended up with Bitcoin in the first place, or I probably wouldn't have done it. So I guess like being a writer gets you into all these places that you didn't expect. We're media partners at this event. We're also partners. Our main company, AdLunam, is a partner. Altcoin Observer is also a partner at Wow Summit. So we're just over here, just meeting people, doing the usual thing. Love it here. Thailand is amazing.
That's great. And ABC Conclave, have you been to their events before?
Yeah.
Which ones have you been to?
The one in Dubai earlier, so we were part of that as well. The founder of it is a good friend. He was at AdLunam at one point. He's our CBO.
Oh, he was at Lunam before?
Before
You're talking about Kiran?
Yeah, Karen was over
Karen.
at AdLunam when he first started out. He was at AdLunam.
Oh.
So known him for forever, even before this got put together. So definitely support him pretty much when he does stuff. It's a small industry, so basically when your friends do things, you end up jumping in.
Of course. No, wonderful. Yeah, that's great. And in terms of AdLunam, as far as the audience goes, what is it that you are exactly? What is it you're building?
Sure. So I mean, we have a zero to ideal accelerator. So we essentially take projects that are maybe really good projects, but don't have all the pieces that they need to have in order to be a really good token, right? Because that's a completely different business. You might be really good at what you do, whether that's, I don't know, selling widgets or whatever, right? But then launching that as a token and then ensuring that token has liquidity and ensuring that token is on the right exchanges, that requires a whole set of things that most companies either don't have the resources or don't have the know-how that they have to do. So we have a lot of companies that launch and they just mess up their launch. You only get a chance to do a launch one time. They'll mess it up because they'll take deals that come to them. So a launchpad comes to them, never heard of a launchpad before, and they're like, hey, we'll throw your tokens on, see what happens. And so they'll take those deals. Same thing with exchanges, right? Like they'll go on like an exchange rank like 300 out of several thousand, and wonder why there's no liquidity for their token, right? So I think that a lot of early stage projects need that to plug in with somebody that's sort of specific to the community and to the industry of launching an IDO or an IEO in the first place. A public sale itself is a completely different animal from whatever it is your main core business is, right? So I think we come in and we have that like middle layer between projects that are really good and then tokens that are really good.
Yeah.
I guess that's sort of what we do.
Interesting. Wow. So you have everything up until the IDO stage or after the IDO as well?
Yeah, of course we support projects. We're happy to support projects after the IDO with marketing services and stuff like that. But I mean, really, the crux of it is how do you connect with the right market makers? How do you connect with the right exchanges? How do you connect with the right launchpads? And that is key when it comes to a launch, right? And once you launch, it's not fairly easy. I would say it's obviously always a challenge to maintain that, but it's much easier to do that. Let's say, for example, you launch and you do a 10x, and let's say you go back to like a 3x because it's a bear market. It's much easier to build that back up to 10x than if you launch and you're like 0.25x, and then now you're trying to get to 1x and then get past that. It's like you're so far behind that you might as well just give up on the token and do swap the token for another token, swap your existing investors, swap them out for a new token, and maybe relaunch or something. Because at that point, moving that token up is going to be a significant challenge. So I think like it really, and then of course we have our media, Altcoin Observer, which is basically just to support projects that we work with, right? Our partners and stuff like that. It's just sort of bring them out there, get them seen, tell their story, same as what you do. So
yeah, storytelling
point
really
anyway.
sells. It really sells storytelling because that's the reason why they buy into it.
Yeah, and also like thought leadership, right? I mean, that's really important. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of news per se, but you get the same news from every different outlet that you go to, right? The question is, where's the analysis? Where's the thought leadership and the people that really understand this industry? What is their opinion of the news? That's probably more interesting than like what the news is itself, right?
Right. And just to kick off and finish off, what do you think the future of so let's say IDO is going to be like? I mean, you're already doing it right now. Do you think it's going to the model as it is going to change? Is it evolving? What's your opinion of it? It's
definitely evolving. So I think crypto is constantly an evolving space, and the things that are hot in one market will definitely not be the things that are hot in the next market. The one challenge is this sort of explosion of memes and meme coins, and what ends up happening is you have on one hand like no utility, right? And then on the other hand you have other companies that are trying to build utility around their token. And you'll see that there's like a completely different metric that investors, both retail and institutional, use when they're investing in these. So for example, they'll have almost no due diligence or what we would consider due diligence when investing in a meme, but like extra amount of due diligence when they're investing in a utility-based token. It seems like now, it used to be where, the memes got no attention, and if you had a utility token, they would be much more likely to do something. Now it seems like there's no standards for meme tokens at all, and then the standard for, standard IDOs are actually higher. So I think that it's an evolving market, and particularly now we're gonna have to see once the bull market gets back, whether that translates, for example, to the IDO space, the altcoin space. We haven't yet seen that, right? We haven't yet seen the Bitcoin blow up, like move over to altcoins. And then from there, the next step is like IDOs and even more risky investments. So the question is to see whether it actually evolves to that place. And where will memes be? Will memes sort of replace the space that IDOs are taking in terms of like highly risky investments? Or will they supplement it? I mean, one of the questions is that a lot of companies, regardless of whatever their business is, they're creating value. And so if assuming they create a token that represents that value, their token will have value. So it's like it doesn't matter what exactly they're doing, because every company's business is different. As long as they're creating value and then you lock that value in the token will go up. So it's not a replacement. Like a meme is not a replacement. A meme is just total gambling, right? It's not a replacement for utility tokens. But it seems like from a retail perspective, a lot of them are choosing where they move their liquidity, and a lot of that is going to memes, which tends to be an issue. I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. Like we for a long time said that memes are gonna die out, but they just never have. They've not, at least so far. But I think you'll see a life cycle similar to NFTs, right? Like NFTs blew up, PFPs were like everything. People realize now that you can't, do anything real with a picture of an ape, right?
No. So it needs to have utility.
Yeah. So I mean, so that the way the NFT market has evolved, I think eventually we're going to see that with memes too. We're going to see only a few of them survive, and the rest of them sort of go by the wayside. You'll probably have like ones with massive market caps, and then some with pretty much $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, like a whole bunch of crap before like a couple of them doing well. So I think that's going to end up happening, and then hopefully that'll open up the space for IDOs.
Jason, I want to thank you for your time. I think there's a lot there that you mentioned that's very valuable and insightful. So I just want to wrap it there and say thank you.
Awesome, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this insightful. We'll leave all the links in the description so you can check out Jason's profile as well as AdLunam. If you need IDO advisory, this is the place to go. Thank you again. I'm Adel, the host, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's go.
All right, buddy.
Stay here.